Hello and welcome to my channel, Hopewell Stories. Today's video is how they reconnected after 50 years and got married the same day. But before we dive into the full story, let me know where you're watching from and what time it is now, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. It was a warm summer morning in the small town of Maplewood. The sun rose slowly, painting the sky with soft colors, pink, orange, and gold. Birds chirped in the trees, and a light breeze moved through the leaves. In a little café near the park, an old man named Henry sat by the window, sipping his coffee. He wore a light blue shirt, slightly wrinkled, and his silver hair was neatly combed. His hands were gentle, but you could see the years in them, veins standing out, skin thin like paper. Henry was 72 years old. He had lived a quiet life after retiring from his job as a school librarian. He liked books, long walks, and the sound of rain. But one thing had always stayed with him, like a song stuck in his head: his first love, Clara. They had met when they were just 18, back in 1972, high school sweethearts. They sat together in English class, shared sandwiches at lunch, and walked home together every day. Henry remembered how Clara laughed at his jokes, even the bad ones. She had bright green eyes and curly brown hair that bounced when she ran. She wanted to be a teacher. He wanted to write stories. They promised each other they'd be together forever. But life had other plans. Clara's family moved to another state when she graduated. There were no cell phones back then, no social media. Letters were sent, but slowly they stopped. Phone calls were rare, and one day Henry realized she was gone, not just from the town but from his life. He never forgot her. Over the years, Henry married once, but it didn't last. No children. He traveled a little, read a lot, and kept a small photo of Clara in his wallet, just a faded picture from their high school dance. He didn't talk about her much, but every year on June 12th, the day they first kissed, he would sit quietly and remember. Now, 50 years later, he came to the café every Thursday morning. It was his little routine. He liked the quiet, the smell of fresh bread, and the kind waitress, Maria, who always remembered his order. Black coffee, 1 sugar. That morning Maria smiled and placed a second cup on the table. "Not alone today?" she asked. Henry looked up, confused. "I didn't order 2. Maria pointed to the door. "She did." Henry turned, and there she was, Clara. She stood in the doorway wearing a soft yellow dress and a wide-brimmed hat. Her hair was now white, pulled into a loose bun. Her face had lines, but her green eyes, still bright, still kind, looked right at him. Henry's heart stopped. Then it started again, faster than it had in years. "Clara," he whispered. She walked slowly toward him, smiling. "Hello, Henry." He stood up, knocking his chair back. "Is it really you?" She nodded. "It's me." They just stared at each other. 50 years of silence, of wondering, of missing. Everything came rushing back. Henry felt tears in his eyes. So did Clara. Maria quietly took the second coffee cup away and gave them space. "You're here," Henry said, his voice shaking. "I am," Clara said. "I moved back to Maplewood last month. I didn't think I'd ever see you again." "Why didn't you call?" Henry asked gently, not angry, just curious. Clara sighed. "Life got busy. I taught school for 40 years. Got married, had 2 kids. My husband passed away 5 years ago. I thought you'd moved on, forgotten me." "I never forgot you," Henry said. "Not one day." They sat down. Maria brought fresh coffee and 2 slices of apple pie on the house. For hours they talked, about their lives, about their joys and sorrows. Clara told him about her children, her grandchildren, her love of gardening. Henry told her about his books, his walks in the park, and how he still wrote little stories in a notebook. "I always wondered what happened to you," Clara said. "When I saw your name on the library's donor list last week, I thought, maybe, so I asked around. Maria told me you come here every Thursday." Henry smiled. "You remembered my coffee habit." "I remember everything," Clara said, softly. They laughed. They cried. They remembered the song that played at their first dance, "Lean on Me" by Bill Withers. They remembered the tree they carved their initials into behind the school. They both agreed to go see it later. As the sun moved across the sky, something changed between them. It wasn't just memories, it was something deeper, a spark that had never really gone out. You know, Clara said, stirring her coffee, I've been alone for 5 years, and I've been okay, but today feels different. Henry looked at her. I feel it too, she smiled. Do you think, after all this time, we could try again? Henry didn't hesitate. Yes, Clara's eyes lit up. Really? I've waited 50 years for this moment, he said. I'm not waiting another day. Then, as if the universe agreed, Maria came over with her phone. You two are adorable, she said. But I have to tell you, there's a wedding happening in the park today. Just a small one. The couple canceled last minute. The justice of the peace is still there. The flowers, the music, the chairs, it's all set, and the permit is already paid for. Henry and Clara looked at each other. A wedding? Clara said. Maria nodded. It's just sitting there ready to go. The justice said he'd do it for anyone who shows up. It's like it's meant to be. Henry took Clara's hand. Clara, will you marry me? Today? Clara didn't laugh. She didn't hesitate. She looked into his eyes, the same eyes she had loved as a teenager, and said, yes, I will. And just like that, they stood up, left the café, and walked to the park. The park was beautiful. White chairs lined a grassy path. White flowers bloomed in vases. A small string quartet played soft music under a white gazebo. A rainbow of petals covered the ground. People in the park noticed them. An old couple, holding hands, walking toward the wedding setup. Are they? Someone whispered. I think so, another said. The justice of the peace, an older man with a kind face and a clipboard, looked up. Can I help you? He asked. Henry smiled. We'd like to get married, if the spot's still open. The justice blinked. You're serious? Clara nodded. Very serious. He checked his clipboard. Well, the spot is open, but you need ID, and you need to fill out a form. Henry pulled out his wallet. Clara opened her purse. They showed their IDs. They filled out the form, hands shaking a little, laughing the whole time. Maria had followed them, bringing 2 small bouquets she grabbed from the cafe's display. For the bride and groom, she said, handing them over. A few park visitors gathered to watch. A woman filmed it on her phone. A little girl handed Clara a daisy. The justice smiled. Friends, we are gathered here today, not just to witness a wedding, but a miracle. 2 people who loved each other long ago, who found their way back, not through luck, but through the heart. He looked at Henry and Clara. Do you, Henry, take Clara to be your wife, to love her, honor her, in joy, and in sorrow, for the rest of your days? Henry looked at Clara. I do. And do you, Clara, take Henry to be your husband, to walk beside him, laugh with him, and grow old together? Clara smiled, tears in her eyes. I do. I now pronounce you husband and wife, the justice said. You may kiss the bride. And Henry leaned in and kissed Clara, softly, sweetly, like their first kiss 50 years ago. The small crowd clapped and cheered. Maria wiped her eyes. The little girl jumped up and down. After the ceremony, they sat on a park bench, still holding hands. I can't believe this happened, Clara said. Me neither, Henry said. But I'm so glad it did. Clara looked at him. You know what's funny? I spent 50 years thinking I missed my chance with you. But maybe it wasn't a missed chance. Maybe it was just delayed. Henry smiled. Like a book that takes a long time to finish. But the ending is worth the wait. They laughed. Later that afternoon, they went to the old school. The tree was still there, though smaller than they remembered. But there it was, faded but clear, H+C carved into the bark. They touched it gently. I never stopped loving you, Henry said. I never stopped either, Clara replied. They decided to stay in Maplewood. Clara moved into Henry's little house, near the park. They planted a garden together. Roses, lavender, and sunflowers. Henry wrote a story about their love, and called it The Longest First Kiss. Every morning, They had coffee together at the café. Maria always saved their favorite table by the window. Sometimes, the townspeople would see them walking hand in hand, laughing like teenagers. Did you hear? Someone would say. Henry and Clara got married after 50 years apart. And someone else would smile and say, love doesn't expire, it just waits. One evening, as the sun set behind the hills, Henry and Clara sat on their porch swing. Fireflies blinked in the yard. Clara rested her head on Henry's shoulder. Do you think we'll have enough time? She asked quietly. Henry kissed her forehead. We've already had 50 years of love. We just didn't know it. Now we get to live it. That's not too little. That's a miracle. She smiled. I love you, Henry. I love you more, Clara. And as the stars came out, they sat together, two old souls who found each other again. Not too late, but right on time. If you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe to our channel. Thank you for watching, and see you on the next video. Bye.